Can you feel it? Man, I feel it. How about you guys? Hey, I'd like to thank all the IBOs on the day, Mr. Sergio in Mexico, Miss Patricia and Frank Bowman. Thank you so much out there in Elk Grove, California. Miss Belinda. Hey, we got a great call lined up today, and we just asked the gentleman to come back again. Mr. Dash, thank you so much. Mr. Ismail and Mr. Edmund Smith, thank you so much. Mr. Bree Clemens, thank you for all you do. Mr. Gray for the bakery. Regional Director, Ms. Natasha Ismail, thank you so much, dear. Mr. Chase and Gray, thank you so much. We'd like to thank Miss Konohara over in Japan. Thank you so much. Mr. Dave Carver, thank you so much. Miss Castro, thank you so much. Good seeing you. Mr. Devon Templeton, Miss Zoe, thank you so much. My God, look at all the beautiful, happy faces. Mr. Daryl Ranson, Miss Tracy Gilmore, Miss Caroline Baker, thank you so. The Bakery, RD, thank you so much. Mr. Winston Herbert, thank you so much. Miss Joyce Brewer, thank you so much. Miss Natalie, thank you so much. Mr. Boris Shelton, thank you so much. Mr. Brian Blinn, good seeing you, sir. Miss Angelina, thank you so much. Bill Bailey, what a superstar. Wow, Delilah, thank you so much for being out there in Colorado. There you go. Crew, there you go. Miss Jones, thank you so much. TJ, good seeing you out this morning. Celia, thank you so much. And Miss Evelyn, out of the bakery organization. What a good group of people we got on the call today. Well, as you know, it's follow. Hey, Mr. Ryan Swallow, I see you wiping your eyes. There you go. Thank you so much. Well, as you know, it's July 2nd, and this young man that came back this month actually came back today, and we're just so thankful. He was just such an amazing leader that, I mean, I don't know what more. Actually, I've always said he's one of my favorite trainers. I don't say it to be saying that, but it's true because I've always told everybody he's one of my favorites. You know who he is. Wow. He's a great father. He's an awesome husband. He's one of the co-founders, go-to guys in training and also in the marketing plan. He's a platinum RVP, lives in Southern California. His business expands all over the United States and several other countries. He's always there when you need him. And last time he came in with us on Happy Hour on Friday, he was out there in horse territory, getting ready to jump on a horse. He said it was his wife, but I don't think so. I think it was his. Anyway, I got him smiling. Without further ado, the great, the one and only Mr. Dean Tarrolly.
You did have me smiling, Mr. Thomas. You cracked me up. All right, so you guys, the fact is, it really is my wife's, and I'm gonna share with you everything I know about the horse world. I don't know a lot about the horse world. That's her thing, but you know what? We had to go out there when Jackie was on the road, and by the way, living life like we all have to, and she has a business and it took her on the road. So I had to leave here and go over there, but I didn't want to miss any of the call. And I thought last week's call was amazing. I mean, that Friday happy hour, I mean, you talk about a senior vice president who was wearing his heart on his sleeve for his team. I mean, I think you guys saw that, and I know when Mr. Thomas and I do this on Thursdays with and for all of you, you hear this kind of banter go back and forth between he and I, but I'm telling you guys, that's real. One of the things that I tell people all the time is I hope that you all are in this long enough to find and build the types of friendships, the mentorship and relationships, that are available here through amazing people that we would have not ever had an opportunity to meet if it wasn't for a vehicle like this. I heard something yesterday that I thought was great, and I just kind of wanted to start with this. We all have, and you guys probably have heard this, and if you haven't, it's cool. And if you have, that's cool too. We have two families, right? You have the family that you're born into, and then you have the family that you choose and that chooses you. And y'all agree with me, with all due respect to our blood families, and you love them and I love them. How grateful are we that we have a family that we can choose? How grateful are we that we have a family and people that we can be around, that we choose to be around, right? Where you don't have to worry about what you're saying, what you're doing, what you're wearing, how you're looking, what you're acting like around the family dinner table, and you're going to get those looks. Like people that just accept you for who you are. And here's the other thing, and this is part of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And that is, when you're in an environment where someone is willing to push you, don't take that for granted. And the reason I say that to you is this, is it takes time, effort, and energy from the coach or the mentor to advance anybody in anything that they're doing. I don't care if you're learning music. I don't care if you're trying to become a better writer. I don't care if you are an entrepreneur. I don't care if you are an athlete. Becoming a coach and a mentor and a teacher, there is energy that is put into that person. Part of what I want you guys just to reflect on this for a second, because this is a call that is looking for to identify and develop leadership. So when we did an accountability call, what was now 2 weeks ago, and then we did a little bit of the accountability last week, and we'll do a little bit today as well, I want you guys to think of something. When we're going through those questions and answers of how many people did you peak? How many people did you, oh, can y'all hear me? Ishmael, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up or down. You can? Okay, good deal. Sergio, can you hear me? Akiko, you can hear me? Antonio, you can hear me? Okay, cool. Thanks, you guys. All right. So I want you to think about this. I think Mr. Thomas may have froze. So I want you to think about this. The time, effort, and energy that is put in to being a really good coach, right? It would be so easy to gloss over that information when you're dealing with someone. So I want you to think of this. I want you to put yourself in a position of that coach. I want you to put yourself in the position of regional director, regional vice president, one day for all of us, like Mr. Thomas, senior vice president. You know, the old adage is be careful what you wish for, right? Be careful what you wish for. Man, I wish I was a senior vice president. Really? Let's talk about that for a second. I wish I was a regional vice president. Really? Let's talk about that for a second. I wish I was a regional director. Really? Let's talk about that for a second. Now, the reason I say that to you is not because I don't think you can do it, and I don't think you will do it, and I don't think that you'll be good at it. I think you guys will be great at it. But understand, with great reward comes great responsibility. Like, there are phenomenal rewards at these positions, but there is a responsibility as a leader. So when you hear the cliche words and the cliche phrases, lead by example, let me tell you something. That is as real as it gets, and no more so than in a business such as ours. Give you an example. Mr. Thomas does not need to do these calls. He does not need to arrange 5 days a week of different guest speakers that he has, and he doesn't need to do this. He's been paid. He's served a ton of people through decades of being involved in this industry. So what drives someone to continue to do this at the level that he's doing it with the rewards that he's already received? This is an important conversation, because there's a lot of people who go, man, I hit SVP. Whew, I hit RVP. I'm taking my foot off the gas for a minute. I might catch my breath. Let me tell you guys this. Here's what I want you to be thinking now as executive team leaders, people that want to become regional directors and one day regional and senior vice presidents. When you hit the position that you're working towards, write this down. Hit the gas. Hit the gas. When you become an executive team leader, hit the freaking gas. When you become a regional director, hit the gas. When you become RVP, hit the gas. And definitely when you become SVP, hit the gas. And let me tell you why I'm saying this. With each position that you work through, because you have chosen to take on a leadership role, become a good coach. If you guys have gotten anything from the last few months, when I train you guys, it'll all be tied together in a bow at the end. As you develop into the leader that you need to develop into, and you hit these positions, and you're hitting the positions because you're doing the right things on a daily basis, creating an environment for people to win, personally developing as a leader, understanding the compensation plan, understanding where to deploy your time, effort, and energy. As you understand these things as you mature in the business as a leader. By the way, how exciting. But I mean, you guys, listen to me. Do you remember, and you can nod, show of hands, doesn't matter. Do you guys all remember, this is gonna take you off track for a second, but I'm gonna bring you back. Do you guys remember going through puberty? Remember it? It's awkward. You got hair growing, your muscles are changing, your body starts developing, and it's awkward as all, it's terribly awkward, right? I want you to think of developing as a leader into that same sort of like you got to kind of get it's you, but it's like sometimes as you start to develop into a leader, mark my words, you want to talk about an awkward situation? Listen to this. You got to embrace this. You want to talk about an awkward situation? You're developing into a leader. You're having a conversation with one of your reps, guests, and you answer a question or you say something, and it is literally word for word something that Mr. Thomas has said in a leadership. And you have an out-of-body experience, and you look at yourself, a little out-of-body thing, and you go like this, oh my God, that was awesome, I know, right? And then you're back in the conversation because you've started to develop the leadership skills. You started to mimic and copy and model the leaders. And now you're starting to develop your own style, your own abilities to be able to lead people. This is tremendously exciting. So then guess what happens, you guys? As you get better at that, the promotions and the financial rewards are a byproduct of the leader and the person and the skills that you've developed. The position and the income is a byproduct of the person and the leader and the mentor that you have become. See, what happens is a lot of times people have this position and they go, and this is leadership, and they go, well, if I was a regional director, yeah, I'd be doing this a lot more. If I was a regional director, I'd be doing ACN a lot more. You know, if I was a regional director, I wouldn't miss that call. I mean, if I was a regional director, I wouldn't miss that training. Well, if I was a regional director, they've got the right words in the wrong order. You become a regional director when you don't miss the training. You become a regional director when you don't miss the words. You become a regional director when you start putting in the work that nobody can see. You become a regional director when you're developing yourself personally. You become a regional director when you elevate your thinking. You become a regional director when you surround yourself with like-minded people. You guys, if you're the smartest person and you know the most in your conversation and the group of people that you're communicating with, you got to find a new group. Like you want to be the person that has people pouring into you. Does that make sense? Now look, as you develop these skills and as you develop your leadership stance in this business, and leadership requires responsibility. And I said, you got to be careful what you ask for. Well, let me tell you something. If you all or I were to sit down with Mr. Thomas over dinner and ask him about his life experiences as a result of treating this business seriously. By the way, who'd like to be in on that conversation? Hey, Mr. Thomas, tell me about the places that you've traveled, the people that you've met, the cultures that you've experienced, the food that you've eaten. Tell me about those things. Oh, by the way, Mr. Thomas, how many people did you have to ask permission to take that trip? And he says 0. But see, people want that experience. They want that lifestyle without putting in the work. And the thing that they don't understand, the value of those experiences is they were paid for with blood, sweat, tears, and leadership when most people wouldn't do those things. So do you want to know why the food tastes better and the drinks are stronger and the view is more beautiful? Because what was done to get there. You guys, nobody said, look, freedom's expensive. Let's just say it. Being free is expensive. And please, I hope that you guys do not think I'm talking about money, because I am not. Freedom is expensive. Leaders embrace that. Let me tell you what that means. Okay, man, I'm about to. You guys are about to get more than you bargained for today. Let me coffee up. Freedom is
Yay!
expensive. Freedom, freedom is expensive, and here's what I mean by that. In our world, if you are not prepared to give things up for a season, you need to be prepared to not move up in this organization. If you are not prepared to give things up, you need to accept the fact that you won't move up within the organization. And let me tell you what I mean. If you are not willing to give up the occasional family gathering. Now look, I'm not talking, listen to me. You guys, please do not get this message twisted. I am not talking about missing a graduation or a wedding or an anniversary. You know what I'm talking about missing? I'm talking about missing the family barbecue. I'm talking about missing the getting together for the ball game when that world opens up. I'm talking about those things. Well, I haven't seen my friends in this pandemic and I got to party a little bit. Great, go party. Show up an hour late. Leave an hour early. The message that you're sending to everybody is a significant message that you have other priorities. I love my friends. I love my family. I'm going to be there. Look, well, it starts at 6. I'll see you at 7:30. Good. Okay. 7:30, it starts at 6. Look, man, I got something to do. So why don't you write this down in your notes? I got something to do. What does that mean for you? Well, that depends where you are in ACN. Maybe, you know what? Maybe just by you committing to reading that extra 10 pages of that book that you told yourself that you were going to read, but man, the beer sounds good. By the way, for the record, let me tell you something. I know for a fact, and I'll speak for Mr. Thomas, I'm not telling you guys to be late to happy hour, but I'm telling you this, if you're presenting to someone, if you have a chance to pique someone, if you have a chance to advance somebody's business, if you have a chance to do that, and you get on the happy hour a few minutes late because you're doing something that's advancing your business, I'm telling you, he's good with it. Now, beyond there, see, look at him. I already know it. You guys, this is designed with look, there's an end goal here, right? Like collectively, we have an end goal here. That's freedom. And freedom's not free. So are you willing to pay the price to do the things to become a leader that will give you the skills where the byproduct of those skills is lifestyle? And the answer for most people is no. They want the reward without the work. And they don't understand that the value in the reward is the work. They don't understand the value of walking the stage as a newly promoted. Look, I saw Natasha get promoted to regional director. I saw her and her husband get promoted to regional director. I saw how meaningful that was to them. I also saw Roxanne Corlejo, one of my regional directors. She's on this call. I saw her get promoted. I saw what that meant to her. I saw how hard she worked to cross the finish line. Well, guess what? Those goals have now changed. Now it's not just about being a regional director. Now the goal is to become President's Club, to have by the way, to become a President's Club member in ACN as a regional director, let me share something with you guys. Okay, this might come as a shock to you. To hit President's Club as a regional director or higher is based on, here goes, production. Your ability to produce is directly correlated to your skill set. Your skill set is directly correlated to your training. Your training is directly correlated to your schedule. Your schedule is directly correlated to what it is that you're willing to give up, and what you're willing to give up has to do with why you signed up in ACN. And until people really understand the relationship between the things I just said, there's a very reasonable chance, and I'm just talking from the heart, there's a very reasonable chance that that you will not advance your position. But when you're like, man, enough is freaking enough, man. Let me tell you, this is the last month in my ACN career that I will not be an executive team leader. I'm getting these points done. I do not care. I am not going to listen to Dean Tarrolly talk about this one more time. He is now talking to someone else. I'm drawing a line in the sand. How about this? This is the last month in my ACN career. June was the last month in my ACN career that I'm going to go an entire month without having one person join my team. One in a month. Let me tell you, regional directors, this is the last month where I'm doing less than 5 reps in a month. That is never happening again. Mark my words. And when you start treating your business like that and you start talking like that, I'm going to tell you something. I've said this to you guys in the past on other calls. The universe will conspire to support you. If you're doing the right things, the universe will conspire to support you. If you are treating this professionally, you should expect professional income. If you treat this like an amateur, you should expect amateur income. By the way, how much do amateur athletes get paid? Take a look at the screen. Take a look at the screen. Look at your computer, look at your phone. How much money do amateurs earn? Amateur athletes, let me tell you, $0. They only start getting paid when they become a professional. So part of this call and part of the reason that Mr. Thomas does this is to start developing the skills in all of you that will give you professional abilities. Whether you choose to exercise those abilities week to week, Thursday to Thursday, Friday to Friday, however you guys want to think of it, that's up to you. Because I got news for you. I'm not going to work out for you. I'll work out with you. I'm not going to work out for you. By the way, it wouldn't work anyway. I'd get in shape and you wouldn't. Or vice versa. If you work out with me, it doesn't do me any good. The only thing it might do is you might inspire me. You know, you guys, in your development as leaders, understand something. You're going to leave some things and some people behind. And you have to be willing to accept that. Now, do you want to leave them behind? No. It's crazy, you guys. My daughter and I love this show called Deadliest Catch. So it's crazy. I mean, you guys, you think what we do is hard? You think what we do is hard? You're out of your minds. What those guys do is, like, if you've never seen an episode of Deadliest Catch, it's about these fishermen in Alaska that go into the Bering Sea and they hunt crab. They fish for crab. And the weather and what they have to do, it is absolutely unbelievable. And let me tell you something, if they don't treat their job and they don't treat that window of time on the boats professionally, they die. I mean, it is that dangerous, but the rewards are unbelievable. Okay. So the reason I bring this up to you is this. When you put into perspective what we really do and what we really need to get good at, come on, you guys. I mean, come on. With this compensation plan, and now the bonus that was announced yesterday, I'm flipping out. I can't even believe it. You guys, listen to what the company did as leaders. I'm talking to you as leaders. Listen to what the company did. They took a compensation plan that was great last year. They made it unbelievable starting January 1, and it was so good that they did not need to do promotional bonuses because they kind of put the promotional bonuses in the comp plan. With the 3 services, 5 services, and every 3 services after that, they put that into the comp plan. Well, guess what they announced yesterday? Now they're going to do an additional bonus for any new people who have a start date in the month of July, where now they're going to put an extra $300 on the table when 15 bills are acquired. Give me a break. A new person could sign up today and within a week be well into $1,000 or more. In a week from brand new. Where does that happen? Oh, by the way, and if you do husband and wife, now you're talking about a couple grand that's on the table by doing just a few things when you maximize the compensation plan. Now, how do you maximize the compensation plan? Get with your leader, go in the back office, look at the document, figure it out, right? That's part of what's so great about being a leader up in this. So listen, you guys, I am actually, Al, I don't know if you guys plug into this or not, but I know that the co-founders do they do a call. Tony typically does a call every day at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if you guys do anything if you guys have something scheduled at 10 a.m., but it turns out that today I'm actually the host. So I'm going to be hosting today with Tony Cupisz. So, and I'm not telling you guys to change anything that you already have in your schedule. I'm saying that if you are available and you want to put someone on that call, here's what I would do. Here's how I built my business. I would use someone like Al Thomas. And here's what I would say to my prospect. I am working with a gentleman who's helping expand a business here in our area. He is working directly with the co-founder of a company that's doing billions in revenue, and they're doing a short overview in 30 minutes. I'd love to get your opinion, right? So what you're doing is you're tying you to the leaders that are going to be on a national call, and all we're trying to do is get them interested. Now, if you guys can make it or not, no big deal. Hey, Chris, it's on the ACN Facebook page. So if you go to ACN's Facebook page, the Zoom address is there. And like I said, I'm not trying to take you guys off of something that you have scheduled. I'm simply letting you know that it is a resource to be able to put someone on the call. Maybe as a result of this call. Maybe as a result of this call, you have that person that's on your list and you can say, look, I'm working with a gentleman who's a regional vice president in Southern California. I just got off a leadership call with him. I'm freaking out because I just found out he is going to be speaking with the co-founder of our company, breaking down what it is that we're doing. I'd love to get your, thank you, Roxanne. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. I'd love to get your opinion. I want to get your opinion. Just give me your opinion. I'd love to see what you think. That's it. See, if you do that, and now you have some people that are on this call, and you tie the information to myself and to Al, this is who I'm working with. Well, how, all you're hoping that they say after it is this: either I'm in, I like it, it makes sense, or here's the big one: how does this work? Exactly. I got to get you on the phone with the leader I'm working with. Done. So you guys, let me go back to what we first talked about. If you are a leader, even though the position may not have hit your position yet, meaning your promotion or whatever, if you are a leader is willing to go someplace that other people aren't willing to go, and they're willing to take someone to a place that they wouldn't get to on their own. That is one of the blessings of being a leader. But what does that entail for you? That entails a necessity to have courage. And your courage is directly tied to why you're doing this. I'm courageous for my kid. I'll get out of my comfort zone for my kid. I'll go talk to someone from my wife and my family. Like, that is not only my responsibility, but my privilege. And this is such an amazing vehicle. And when you have a leader that sets up calls like these, I hope that these are the types of calls that you guys take notes and build your book of knowledge. So one day you'll have a call like this and people will be looking to you for that leadership guidance, inspiration, right? Vision. That's why we do this. And I want you guys to know something. I did not start having this kind of information. I would be trained and taught by leaders like Mr. Thomas, where I would sit there with a notepad like a hungry school kid, trying to get every piece of knowledge, every word, every way that he says things, how he delivers. Like, why not copy the leaders? Why not copy what works? Why come up with something on your own that like, and I'm not saying don't be a free thinker. I'm saying that there's a system that if you plug into, all of the things leading back to the first leadership thing that I mentioned today will start to come into focus for you, but not without your decision to have them come into focus and your desire to move through these positions, through the compensation plan, which is 100% completely based on your willingness to lead and your willingness to be led. And you just have to decide, right? Decisions are super powerful, you know? So Mr. Thomas, that's what was on my mind today. I hope that this was helpful. Oh, I promised I wanted to get somebody's results from last week. Okay, let me just see. Let's see. Okay, Dwayne, let's go. Dwayne, you were the first hand I saw raised. Go ahead and tell me what happened last week.
Good afternoon. Thank you for what you just finished saying. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for putting this together. Thank you, Mr. Tarrolly, for coming on and sharing your wisdom. So really quickly, I'm in the airline industry, so we've taken a knock. So I just found out a couple of days ago that I won't be back to work till December. So I said, that's great. This is a blessing in disguise, this COVID, because now it gives me no excuses. I'm full-time now ACN driving. So I did something a little bit different, but I want your perspective on what I did. The first time my numbers were 10 peaks, 4 exposures, 2 were interested. Because I found out that information, I decided I wanted to be a little bit more hungrier. 50 peaks, 5 exposures, but nobody wanted to do the business. But of the 50 peaks, when I went back with the help, favor, try, now knowing my position, out of the 50, 35 are willing to give me services. I'm busy.
You guys.
I'm busy. But
how great is that? Do you understand that that's the system? And watch this, you guys, mark my words. Someone who signs up a service, when they see the online store, they're literally going to say, so how does this whole thing work? Like I could get paid on this. Like you're going to make money on me. Yeah, I can make a little piece. I make a little piece from your bill every month. You could. Well, wait a minute. All right. So you guys have because here's what happens. People will see the presentation and they'll be like this. Oh, no, I totally understand. It's really not my cup of tea, blah, 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 blah. But then you show them the online store and you handle yourself professionally. You go back to them, you circle back to them, they become a customer and they actually see what you're doing and they see that what you're doing is not that complicated. And they go, well, wait a minute. So I could be getting paid on my own bill. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no problem. I don't mind making money on your bill and you're helping me out and thank you so much. But now they go, well, hang on a minute. I got to talk to my wife about this because, if we could be making it, great, let me put you on the phone with the person I'm working with. They can explain everything in detail. Good for you, man.
So that was my question, though, because with Franco's story and the guy leading with the services and not showing the presentation, but then Franco joined somebody else's team. I'm glad that you said that. Make sure I circle back now to show. And that example you just said is exactly what happened with a girl. She came back and she's like, my mom has been paying bills out of the wazoo. So you're telling me we can lower her bills and maybe get it for free? But she's like, wait a second, but how does this work? Like, this is legal? And I was like, I'm going to put you in front of the information. You got to see it. So what you just finished saying is exactly what happened. Exactly.
Perfect. There you go. There you go. You guys remember this. And okay, let me say this or how I want to say this. Okay, here you go. This will be my last thought. Then I'll turn it back over to Mr. Thomas. Here goes. You guys get this. An ounce of courage could get you a pound of results. An ounce of courage, just a little bit of courage to say something to someone could get you huge results. In fact, it always comes down to that. And your courage will be fueled by your reason why, which informs all the things that we've talked about on this call today. So, Dwayne, I appreciate that feedback, and I'm glad that was helpful. And Mr. Thomas, I will turn it back over to you. I do have to get ready to get on there with Mr. Cupisz here at the top of the hour. So, Al, I think you know this from some of the texts that you and I have had. I appreciate your mentorship and your friendship, and I hope the team doesn't take you for granted. I certainly don't. I know that the company doesn't. So, these are a lot of fun. So I hope it was helpful today.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, if you got a few minutes, I'll call you right back in about 2 minutes. Okay, good. Hey, yes, folks, sir. I want to thank can we show Mr. Dean Tarrolly some love here? Wow, this is the last month. It's the last month that I'll go and I'll put at least one rep on my team. That's powerful. This will be the last month that I won't get 5 IBOs in. That was powerful. Mr. Dwayne, thank you so much for that testimonial. of what's happening in your business. Don't forget the company's having a conference call in 22 minutes. Mr. Dean Tarrolly will be hosting it. And remember, being free is expensive. You know, it's so many people that want to be, but not willing to pay the price. Are you willing to pay the price? President's Club members, check out. It's all on production. On what production? So how's that production? Your skill. Here again, there it is again, the word skill. Your skill is based on your training. What did he say? And your training is based on your schedule. Wow. In other words, he said, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up? The fourth thing, you know, and when he said that, I think of Greg Parmesan. He always says, what are you willing to give up to go up? I'll say it again. What are you willing to give up to go up? And that's just in my head, so profound that Greg Parmesan, our co-founder, said that. What are you willing to give up to go up? And a lot of times people are not willing to give up very much, and it's called change. So once again, can we give Mr. Dean Tarrolly a hand? Tonight at 6:00 p.m., we'll be right back here at 6:00 Pacific Coast time doing a 1 through 10. So after the call this morning with Tony Cupisz and Mr. Dean Tarrolly, you can also have people follow up tonight at 6:00 p.m. Pacific Coast time back on this call. And tomorrow we got Mr. Brian Baker will be on here tomorrow morning, and I'm sure he's prepared. And then don't forget Friday night happy hour at 6:00 p.m. right back here. God bless. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you. God bless. Thank you, Mr. Tarrolly.
You got it, buddy.